Thank you for inviting me here to address to this meeting. Actually, my topic today will be about technology, since we have a lot of technology firms here, and how the role of financial technology both intersects with and is changing the regulation of financial services. But first of all, I would like to introduce the Cyprus Securities and Exchange Commission, Cysec. We are an independent public supervisory authority of the securities market and one of the three authorities that regulate the financial sector in Cyprus, along with the central bank and the insurance authorities. We are responsible for the overall supervision of the securities market and of the transactions in transferable securities carried in and outside Cyprus by its supervised entities. Our mission is to exercise effective supervision to ensure investor protection and the healthy development of the securities market. Our vision is to enhance the Cyprus securities market to make it one of the safest and the most reliable destinations for investments. We seek to achieve this vision and the growth in our capital markets by fostering trust among the firms we regulate and the investors we serve, through responsibility, innovation, and education. I will also talk to you about who we regulate and the market size we have right now. Our supervisory remit has widened substantially in the recent years to include new groups of supervised firms and products, including collective investment schemes, fund managers, and administrative service providers, and today we do regulate around 635 entities. These include, as you can see from the graph, 229 Cyprus investment firms licensed under the MiFID II regime. In addition to CIFs, Cysec also oversees 164 administrative service providers active in corporate services, which Cysec oversees solely on anti-money laundering legislation. Cysec also oversees the Cyprus Stock Exchange, regulated markets, MTF, as well as 70 issuers listed on the stock exchange, and also other issuers listed on other regulated markets abroad. And for the listed companies, we are responsible for the Transparency Directive, prospectuses if they want to raise capital, takeover, mergers and acquisitions, and also the market abuse. Although the legislative framework of the collective and asset management sector was completed only relatively recently, there is considerable growth in the sector, and in Cyprus now we have 116 alternative investment funds, and we have also 20 fund managers, the big managers under the IFMD, which they can manage funds more than 100 million. We have 9 purpose entities, special purpose entities for managing small funds, and we have 12 UCITS and UCITS managers. According to Cysec statistics, which is interesting to see, by the end of 2016, unfortunately, I don't have the figures yet for 2017, the total investment firms' clients' assets, that is clients' money and other assets they hold, were around 21.5 billion. There is an increase, around 20% of that from the year 2014. And actually, the total assets of all our supervised entity, which is investment firms, ASPs, asset management, and everything, are around 37.7 billion. By the end of 2017, the total assets under management for the fund industry were around 3 billion, 41% of which were placed in private equity funds, 23% in real estate, 19% in hedge funds. At the same time, the UCITS strategies are concentrated more in transferable securities, around 91% of that. And don't forget, it's a very new market. Given the diversity of the securities market, we have considerable amount of interest from local and foreign entrepreneurs and investors to set up businesses in Cyprus for the provision of financial services. And indicatively, we have around 111 applications for new entities that are currently under examination. Cysec's role focuses in upholding investor protection. This is the number one for us, with a supervisory mandate that we believe is robust, fair, and proactive. I will talk a bit about the legislations that we run, which is the European legislations from the country's accession in the European Union in 2004. The national securities market legal framework was fully and promptly harmonized with all the latest EU directives, of course, and regulations. As a result, the regulatory and supervisory landscape of the financial sector mirrors that of the rest of the EU, and the investors in Cyprus benefit from the high standards of protection. In January 2018, the new law on the provision of investment services and regulated markets entered into force, that is the MiFID II, and we transposed it in our national legislation. Actually, we're the first jurisdiction to transpose that on time. Also, this is the MiFID II expanded significantly the scope of the previous rules governing transaction reporting, and this is arguably the most disruptive MiFID II requirement in terms of technology and compliance. It is also key to enhancing regulators' ability to monitor now the market abuse in the securities market. We also transposed the fourth anti-money laundering directive into our national law. The new law extends the requirements of the ownership and disclosure of beneficial ownership information to corporate and other legal entities and trust, and also requires information centrally to be up to date. Another important legislation that came into effect is the new amendments of the European Market Infrastructure Regulation, EMIR, for those that they know these regulations, which included several amendments in the reporting requirements. Additionally, and lastly, in January 2018, the PRIIPs regulation came into effect. According to that regulation, a key information document, the KID, must be prepared by those who produce or sell investment products to retailers, and it should be provided to them before purchasing the products. So this is the legislation now about the fund industry. The collective investment and asset management sector is one of our key priorities, to which Cysec has dedicated time and effort in the last 6 years in order to create a robust regulatory framework that can facilitate a productive and alternative way of financing the real economy. This also strengthens the establishment of Cyprus as an international service center, and in 2018, the Parliament will vote again new amendments to the legislation aimed at further expansion of the sector, and we are committed to fostering future growth through a robust alternative investment funds framework. Also, we are a member of the European Securities and Market Authority, ESMA. We are actively engaged in industry dialogue across Europe to ensure Cyprus remains at the cutting edge of financial regulation. Cysec is also a member of the International Organization Securities Commission, IOSCO, which sets international standards for the supervision of the securities market. And as a full signatory of ESMA's and IOSCO's multilateral memorandum of understanding, MOUs, Cysec cooperates and exchanges information with many competent authorities and bodies worldwide for the supervision of our entities with multinational activities. I'm going to the financial technology, which is more interesting than the regulations, actually. In the last 10 years, we have been seeing a growth and development and adoption of the financial technology, which is changing the way supervised entities interact with and provide services to their customers and clients. It's true to say that technology is the enabler, the driving force behind the growth of the industry. This technology-led growth has fostered a unique financial services sector in Cyprus, where technology is deployed and leveraged to provide innovative new services to people all over Europe and indeed the rest of the world. Many of you in the investment firms industry, and especially in the Forex industry, are textbook examples of businesses adapting their strategies and businesses offering to incorporate new technologies. Trades performed in real time has given rise to new trading strategies and capabilities, which investment firms continue to explore, evolve, and employ. Online and mobile payments let customers, clients, and businesses conduct cross-border transactions, allowing businesses to access larger pools of wealth and increasing international flows of capital. Blockchain technology, then, is best known for being the technology behind the cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, etc. This new decentralized technology serves as a bookkeeping platform ledger in which transactions are processed, verified, and recorded. Blockchain can be used for a variety of applications, and not only for cryptocurrencies, such as tracing shareholding certifications, recording transfers in ownership or voting rights or physical assets. This means that blockchain gives us new opportunities to rethink how parts of our society work. Whether or not blockchain systems are trustworthy is an interesting question for the regulators. It is still unclear whether it could overcome the challenges associated with becoming a mainstream tool for financial markets, which inter alia includes legal and regulatory aspects that need to be taken into consideration, such as the legal certainty attached to blockchain records or settlement finality. To this end, Cysec has adopted a wait-and-see approach, while in the context of monitoring market developments around blockchain technology, is open to discuss with experts on this area in order to better understand the benefits coming out of blockchain technology and may bring to financial markets, but also evaluate possible risks that are associated with it and maybe eliminate them. To this context, Cysec is a part of a University College London project looking at blockchain technology for algorithmic regulation and compliance, the BARAC project. This research aims to study the changes that blockchain could introduce to regulation and compliance alongside with other entities such as Bank of England, FCA, the Cyprus International Institute of Management, and other financial and technology institutions in the UK. Sorry. Let's talk a bit about cryptocurrencies. The recent uptake in demand for virtual currencies or initial coin offerings indicates a high volatility of the prices, which is seen by a number of investors, or many investors, as an opportunity to generate profits. However, the extreme volatility of the price of crypto assets we have witnessed over the last 6 to 9 months constituted a significant risk, which could result in investors losing the entire invested amount. Not only they are vulnerable to extreme volatility, but also susceptible to fraud, hacking of the wallets, and the operational weaknesses of crypto asset exchanges which are not regulated. At an EU level, action has already been taken to address some specific risks associated with virtual currencies. Cysec also has issued many warnings about any risk involved in investing in such instruments. On pan-European agenda, the threat of virtual currencies being vulnerable to money laundering and terrorist financing is paramount, and we have to deal with this issue. Cysec has issued a new circular a few weeks ago. Any activity relating to virtual currencies, including cryptocurrencies, tokens, and digital coins, is not currently regulated as such by Cysec or by any other regulator, like European regulators, ESMA, EBA, or IOBA. However, ESMA and Cysec has issued some rules regarding the initial coin offerings, which may fall under our regulatory framework, depending on their characteristics. Moreover, derivatives on virtual currencies are now capable of qualifying as financial instruments under the MiFID law. So therefore, depending on the specific characteristics and use, providing investment services in relation to derivatives on virtual currencies will require specific authorization from Cysec. The responsibility of firms providing investment services in relation to derivatives on virtual currencies should thoroughly consider the obligation under the law, including the responsibility to highlight in a clear and visible way the risks, again, associated with such complex products. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you about the fintech firms and what we are trying to achieve in Cyprus. Cysec is pursuing a number of opportunities to support this drive of innovation and to provide appropriate support and frameworks aligned to the industry. Moreover, Cysec is currently undergoing research to establish an innovation hub. We aim for Innovation Hub to be a collaborative center for the supervised entities or the entities providing services to supervised entities to engage with Cysec and discuss fintech-related issues. We hope to foster a culture of sharing information, views, and experiences and give companies the opportunity to seek clarifications on all the things from compliance to licensing and other regulatory requirements resulting from any new technology that is coming in. The proposed Innovation Hub will complement Cysec's participation in pan-European projects, again, such as FinTech, a financial technology training platform. This project aims to create a joined-up environment for FinTech to flourish across Europe under the EU's Horizon 2020 funding scheme. We have been able to invest in a state-of-art education program in a range of specialisms, including artificial intelligence, blockchain, robot advisory, and RegTech. The program is supported by several leading universities in Europe and other European regulators, as well as fintech companies themselves. Nevertheless, as technology for financial services have advanced, as too has the need and scope for appropriate regulation. Financial technology and regulation appear to be at something as a crossroad. FinTech RegTech also represents opportunities and challenges to regulatory compliance and supervision. On the one hand, it can facilitate, streamline, and automate compliance and reporting and improve supervision. E.g., service providers may offer RegTech solutions to facilitate compliance to our regulated entities, like any software that can facilitate you in complying with the anti-money laundering rules. On the other hand, FinTech also presents challenges, such as cyber-related risks, data, consumer, and investor protection issues, and market integrity issues. Regular security breaches underscore that cyber attacks are a growing concern. Such attacks should be tackled in a decisive way to prevent and mitigate any negative consequences for the financial sector, its clients, and also its customers. Making the financial sector more cyber resilient is of paramount importance to ensure that it is well protected. The financial services are delivered effectively and smoothly across the EU on a cross-border basis, and that consumer and market trust and confidence are preserved. All hands point to more joined-up collaboration strategies to develop effective RegTech so that investors' best interests are served effectively across a single market. RegTech solutions are diverse and wide-ranging and include digital identification, big data analytics, artificial intelligence, distributed ledger technologies mentioned before, mobile applications, and cloud computing are all methods being rolled out to improve the scope and reach of RegTech. Cysec has therefore incorporated also in our supervisory authority a software, a risk-based tool that we use all the data of our market in order to analyze the different risks associated with the activities of our supervised entities in order to take into account what would be our supervisory plan every year, which is concentrating mostly on the high-risk companies, and we have medium, high, and low-risk companies. So this is one way of saying that we have put RegTech in our supervisory authority. So in closing, because I took a long time, I think, I would like to conclude with a message that the increased importance of the role of supervisors and regulators as we navigate this new frontier of financial technology. Regulatory authorities must be the gatekeeper to people's trust in fintech companies through robust, appropriate supervision, from regulating data giants such as Facebook right down to European investment firms. We must work together in safeguarding customers' best interest. And with these thoughts, I would like to thank again the organizers, and thank you for inviting me here, and thanks for listening to me. Thank you very much. Thank you.